Welcome to Straight from the Horse's Mouth, where we cut the BS and give you the truth all about sports. Once again, I am Bryce O'Nose for Bryce Davis.
What's good?
Back in the middle for another episode. It's been a crazy week for sports.
Crazy week, crazy weekend.
A lot of content. Obviously, NBA playoffs have kicked off.
Yep.
NHL playoffs have kicked off.
Yep.
The NFL draft with this past week.
Yep.
And obviously, a lot of other stuff has gone down as well. So let's go ahead and get straight into
Yeah.
it. The NFL draft, like I said, it kicked off on Thursday.
Yep.
To nobody's surprise, Cam Ward went number one
Yep.
to the Tennessee Titans. Obviously, Will Levis is still there, but with them
Yeah.
taking Cam Ward overall, it's most likely his job to lose.
Yep.
But the biggest story of the draft day was obviously Shedeur Sander's slide from grace, so to speak.
Yeah.
He was projected at the bare minimum to be a first-round talent, if not early second-round talent, but worst case scenario, the second quarterback taking off.
Yeah.
We know Jackson Dart was rising up the board as the weeks go on, but worst comes to worst, he would at least been the third quarterback.
Third quarterback, yeah. At least for me, I always had like a third rounder at the very least.
But that's not what happened.
Nope.
Shedeur ended up being drafted in the fifth round by the Cleveland Browns, who had already taken a quarterback earlier in the draft when they took Oregon quarterback Dylan Gabriel with the 94th pick. But Sanders ended up being taken by the Cleveland on day 3, the 144th pick overall. Your thoughts on his slide?
Crazy. Crazy. Like I said, first round, I wasn't too surprised. I kind of felt like a second to third round would probably have been where he would have landed. But once day 3 came along, I'm like, he still ain't drafted? Damn. Damn, boy.
Yeah.
And so now for me, it's just kind of, you gotta go out there and prove them wrong at this point. You got to be a Dak Prescott. I'm coming in, and whatever old man and all these other quarterbacks that might be on the roster, I got to beat all of them. But I think the interesting parts are the signs were there that the slip would happen. That's why I thought third round, right? We had all the articles about interviews not going well, and people are, and all the mock drafts were like, yeah, he's sliding. So it's not a surprise that he fell. It's just a surprise that fifth round is where he ended up. And the big question for me is what didn't impress people in those interviews. That's what I want to know. I don't know if we ever get that, but that's what I want to know.
So this is my thing, right? First, okay, there's difference between sliding. We've had people slide before.
True.
Right? Lamar Jackson, Will Levis, Johnny Manziel.
Yeah. Aaron
Rodgers famously slid. There's sliding, and then there's falling.
Yeah.
He fell in the draft or thrown. You know what I mean?
Kicked off the cliff.
And I would buy the whole, like, how people go, he interviewed badly. We've had people throw stuff about people all the time.
Yeah.
Right? Remember the C.J. Stroud with the whole aptitude test and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Or I forgot what quarterback it was a couple years ago. They was like, oh, he has small hands.
Joe Burrow. I believe that was Joe Burrow.
Kenny Pickett, I think, with his hands. It's like his hands or whatever.
It was a couple guys get thrown with the hands.
It's always something. Like, he don't really care. Like, it's always something, right?
Yeah.
But if you're talented enough, people overlook that, right?
Yeah.
This felt more like a lesson.
Yeah.
This felt more like you and your daddy think that y'all run stuff. Y'all think y'all gonna dictate how this thing goes. You know what I'm saying?
I understand. Like, if that's the point, sure. If you're trying to make a point, make your point.
Mm-hmm.
But if he turns out to be really, really good, he's fleecing the fuck out y'all.
Well, I think you underestimate the power of, like, I think you underestimate. Maybe you don't. I think people underestimate the power of people wanting to show they have power.
Oh yeah, I get that.
You know what I'm saying?
I understand that.
It's for them. It's more important.
I understand that
to show.
Yeah, but when
we saw with Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
It's more important. The MVP had no market.
Yeah.
Colin Kaepernick went to the Super Bowl to out the league.
True.
When the NFL, they don't care. Their pride comes first. It comes first.
I get that.
It comes.
I
they
get
don't
that.
give a
but
damn,
for
bro.
me, and I guess that's where I differ. I understand. Like we're all prideful people.
Yeah.
If I want to send a message, sure. But at some point, when does sending a message overcome what my job is supposed to be?
When you want to really embarrass somebody.
No,
When the goal is to embarrass somebody, That's whatever.
So cool. So when you sitting on your couch without a coaching job in 2 years, and I'm rising and my paycheck is coming up, was the message worth it?
Well, for me, no, it's not worth it. Because I would have took him. You know what I'm saying?
I would have taken him. Yeah.
But to hell with these other teams, what they thought. I don't give a damn. You're not out. You ain't my.
You're not my GM.
Right.
Like I said, that's why it's weird to me. If that's the case, I'm not gonna let what message you're trying to send to him dictate what I need for my football team.
We also got to remember where we are.
True.
This is America.
Yeah.
Yeah. The amount of times that people have done things at the
expense of themselves.
Because of race and things and that. And not that I want to bring race into it, but like it's all when they want to show black people a lesson or minorities a lesson, they don't care.
I know.
They don't care. You know what I'm saying? Only time they really care is when they hurt their pockets. That's the only time they really care, right? But as long as it doesn't hurt them financially for the most part, whatever. I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
You know? But like to me, I think there's a lot of people to blame in this situation.
Oh, yeah.
I think first is I'm gonna put Shedeur first.
Okay.
I'm gonna put him first because you got to know what time it is.
Yeah.
Right? You got to know, like, you should be able to gauge, you should be able to read and gauge, or your agent should, or whatever, how people feel about you. Yeah. Right? Okay, looks like people think I'm this, that, and the third.
I got to prove them wrong.
Let me just do what I got to do to get to where I want to go. Right? So let me show up to the interviews prepared.
Right.
Let me shake hands and kiss some babies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I get
let them see me. Hey, how you doing? Yes, sir. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That way they get a feel for me, and they can go like, you know what?
He ain't that bad.
Man, they tripping. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he was cool. He was cool,
cool.
dude. Right? You know what I mean? Like that's how he should have approached it. And from all the reports, it appears that he didn't approach it that way. It appears that he approached it from I'm Shedeur Sanders. This is my film. Do with that what you will. Which fair or not, I think you can do that when you're a no doubt
first round pick.
Yeah. First top 5.
Yeah.
Everybody else outside of that, you shouldn't do it. If you pick number 6 or later, you gotta do it. You gotta because at that point, once you start getting to like that 6, 7, 8, you can kind of be swapped out.
You're a toss out. You're a toss up. You're a toss up for most teams because, like I said, at the top 5. Some guys after that in that 6 to 30 whatever range, 32 range, some of those guys don't even make it.
And this is really, to be honest with you, a 3 or 4 person draft.
Yeah.
This was a Cam Ward, Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter, Ashton Genty draft.
Yeah.
This was a 4-person draft.
Yep.
So after that, really,
everybody else
you gotta like show up and be on your.
So in that regard, do you also hold his combine decisions against him a little bit too?
Yeah, all of that.
Okay.
All of that, and then also hold his dad accountable as well because. Yeah, you did what you did when you were coming up with the draft and all that, and, and ignoring teams because they weren't gonna be picking up high enough to pick you. But you also were also part of that group of people who
were special.
Right?
You ran a 4.2 something at the combine,
right? And
you was getting drafted.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Oh, he is fast. Cool. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
As far as the other stuff, but your son, Deion should have had more wherewithal to know, damn, I
think my son's talented. I think my son can make it to the NFL.
Well, we know he believes in his son.
Right.
But you got, again, you aren't drafting Shedeur. You don't have that power.
Right.
So you got to capitulate to the people who do.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
So you should have, everything from the East-West Bowl or whatever.
Right.
To
Senior
Bowl, Senior Bowl, all of that. You should have had your son there front and center. You should have showed him he gonna outwork everybody.
Right.
Anytime he gets a chance to show he's better than these other dudes, he gonna beat her. Because you know what, y'all think we do talk a lot of crap, but we gonna back it up. Wherever Gabriel's at, wherever Dart's at, wherever Slow's at, we gonna beat her too. Cam Moore, we gonna beat her too.
Yeah.
We gonna let's compete.
Right.
We think we this, that, and the third. We gonna show y'all. We gonna show up to combine. We gonna compete. I don't think Cam Ward. This is what I would tell him. Right. I don't think Cam Ward should just be automatically penciled in for the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
I would have had to pick him anyway.
Yeah.
He would have literally had to have died before me not to take him over.
to take over Shedeur. Yeah, no, 100%. 100%.
But still, that's the message I would have got to the media. Like, let's compete.
Right.
There's a combine now.
Right.
Let's none of us won the national championship, so we all got flaws.
Right.
So let's compete. I'm not just gonna get it. And I think that would have gave him a more like shown teams a little bit. Damn, okay, like he was he went to everything.
Right.
He interviewed with all. I would have interviewed with all. I would have damn near every team. I would have interviewed team. I would have just showed up the team's door.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the interview.
I would show up to the Chiefs door like, hey, Pat Mahomes low-key just lost. So, like, if that's what y'all want to continue to do, hey, that's cool. You know what I'm saying?
Facts, yeah.
But shit, just hear me out. You know what I mean?
Let me interview. Let me interview.
I would have eased everybody. I would have left
and technically,
doubt.
What you're talking about also, right? Teams talk.
Yeah.
Teams talk. So I don't even have to show up to all of them. But if I do well with a couple of teams, they're gonna be like, yeah, Shedeur was good. Shedeur was good. And that message gets passed around.
Mm-hmm. I would even did the Gruden thing.
Yeah.
Hey, you got another spot? Cool, I'm up there. I would have did that too.
Yep. Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like let me show my acumen. Let me show that I can read. Let me show all that too. Like let me put myself on full display in front of the world. I ain't got nothing to hide.
True.
I'm a part of the project like everybody else. And I think how he did that, that would have. I'll be honest with you. If he did that, he goes top 5. I'm not bullshitting.
Wow.
If he would have did what I just said. He gets taken.
He gets taken top 5
because he's a likable dude.
Yeah, 100%.
He's not
Deion.
He's not his daddy.
No, he's not.
He is not his dad. He ain't no more cocky, less cocky than any other quarterbacks you've seen in the NFL.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts,
They all be chirping and running and they all do. They all cocky, right? Especially the good ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's down to earth, cool dudes, smooth talking, God fearing, all that kind of stuff. So to me, it's like that would have shown. I think teams would have been super comfortable taking him early. You know what I'm saying? But I think that...
So the shadow of Deion kind of hurt him.
Yeah, and I think Deion doing that whole, like, we going to dictate where we going to want to go. And, you know, like, bro, like, and people kept trying to compare it to Eli Manning's situation. I'm like, there's a difference. Yeah. One, Eli Manning had pretty much at that point been penciled in as the first guy been taken. Right? Yep. That was pretty much a done deal.
Yeah.
Two, it was only... the Chargers.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, that was it.
There were 30, you know what I'm saying? Now, some people say it was like West Coast teams, but I'm going to just say for now it's just the Chargers.
No, from what I understand, they all pretty much just told the Chargers specifically because that was the only team that was in that position to draft him where he was like, yeah, don't pick him.
Everybody else he was cool with.
Yeah.
Just I like them. I like y'all. I like them. You know what I'm saying? You know, and also you got to remember his situation is different because his dad went to a piss poor organization with the Saints. Felt like it kind of torpedoed his career. The Chargers at that point were 20-some years removed from Dan Fouts in that era, the Air Courier era. So like they hadn't developed anybody during that time frame. The best quarterback they probably had. They had Drew Brees. But that was still it was a question if he was like a good quarterback. Right.
Even
he had the shoulder injury and all that kind of stuff. They went to Super Bowl with Stan Humphries in the mid-90s. Got smacked by the 49ers with Deion Sanders. Yeah. But it was different.
It's different. Yeah. It was only one organization.
Right. But this is like to say we gonna pick it. That's a slight to the entire NFL.
Because it was kind of like I think Caleb Williams' family was kind of doing the same thing. But even still, then like Caleb Williams was a penciled in number one.
And they could tell that too. They also like dead at that.
Yeah,
like,
quickly.
Like, we'll go wherever. You know?
Yeah, they pretty quickly they backtracked that. But even then, like only the guys at the top of the draft really do get to say that. And people were even then before we got to the draft, we're still trying to figure out where is he on the draft board for people. So, like I said, reading the room, they both been mistakes. But I think those are the two people that I think would be assigning blame. Like I said, for organizations, if he ends up well, I mean, oh well, that's just how it goes.
But also, it just goes to show you that anytime they get a chance to kind of put us in our place, they'll take it.
Oh yeah,
and that just bothers me.
Oh, it bothers the heck out of me, but
because it had nothing to do with talent.
It has nothing to do with talent, but that's why I am rooting for Shedeur. Yeah, like I want him to go in and take both Deshaun Watson and Joe Flacco's jobs.
Deshaun Watson. Yeah, he's not coming. But that's why I will say this though. To that point, it still kind of worked out.
Yeah,
like because of all. So this is the depth chart.
Yeah.
All right, one guy not gonna be there because he's out for the season. Easy, done, beat you.
Yep. Yeah, facts.
I'm better than Dylan Gabriel. God damn it. You know what I mean? Like as long as I just play football, and you ain't hating, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I beat and a coach can't. You can fool the masses and the media. You can pull a stunt like that there. You can't pull it
on the field.
And you got all these top dudes, Denzel Ward over there and Myles Garrett, and they see me kicking ass. You can't pull that with them.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No, you lose your locker room fast as hell.
You know what I'm saying? So talent wise, I'm better than Dylan Gabriel. Whoop, you leapfrog him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I heard Mike Florio talk about this. Mike Florio said he'll be shocked if the Browns bring both Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett into the season. Yeah. Like because they drafted two guys, he said he'll be stunned if they bring both of them. Yeah. Most likely you assume that Joe Flacco is going to be
I'm assuming Joe Flacco's the starter as of right now.
So Shedeur has, to me, a legitimate case, a legitimate chance to go into the season if he plays what we think he can play. Like
if he does what he has to do in camp, which I think he can do, he will be at the very minimum the second QB on the depth chart.
Right. And no disrespect, knowing how Joe Flacco plays, 8 picks into the season,
eight picks. I'm thinking 4 games. People will be asking for Shedeur.
Yeah.
4 games into the season, if he does what we think he can do. 4 games.
So to me, it's like if you should do it, and somebody put it best. He in the league though. He's there. He got drafted.
He's there.
He in the league. So now we can. All right, cool. All the talking. Now we gotta play football.
Let's get the football.
Let's get the football now. And so you think this, that, and the third. You think I'm cocky and all? I'm gonna show you what.
Yeah.
Moving on from that though,
big news story.
This week, Shannon Sharpe, obviously known from being on ESPN First Take, host of Nightcap with Chad Ochocinco Johnson,
former
hosting Club Shay Shay.
You know him.
Yeah, Hall of Fame tight end for the Denver Broncos. My Denver Broncos. Had a
story come
out this week.
Yeah.
Much to my shock, my surprise. Especially since he was in the midst of trying to get a new deal for his podcast, which is being kind of rumored to be in a $100 million range and all that. So things are looking up and up for him, right?
$100 million of valuation.
But that's not happening. This past week, Shannon Sharpe, a suit was filed against Shannon Sharpe in Las Vegas District Court. Jane Doe, I'm not going to say her name.
Yeah,
I know he aired her out, but I'm not going to say her name.
Yeah.
Accused Shannon Sharpe of Club Shay Shay of manipulating and controlling the plaintiff during a nearly 2-year period that started in 2023 as a consensual relationship when the woman was 20 years old. The civil complaint alleged Shannon Sharpe, 56, violently sexually assaulted and anally raped the plaintiff in October 2024 and again in January of this year in Las Vegas, Nevada, blatantly ignoring her request for him to stop. The suit states after many months of manipulating and controlling the plaintiff, a woman more than 30 years younger than he, and repeatedly threatening to brutally choke and violently slap her, Sharpe refused to accept the answer no and raped despite her sobbing and repeated screams of no. When active Jane Doe had contacted police during or after the alleged assaults, the plaintiff's attorney, Tony Busby, said he could not comment. The attorney told CNN, "It takes a great deal of courage to stand up against those with power, fame, and money. I look forward to pressing the case in court." Sharpe's attorney, Laney J. Davis, said the woman attempted to blackmail his client and that the pair's relationship was consensual and sexual in nature, and in many cases initiated by her with specific and graphic requests. Davis and Sharpe looks forward to vindication through due process and a judgment based on the facts and the law. The plaintiff is seeking compensatory and punitive damages of more than $50 million. It's also been noted that Sharpe has obviously vehemently denied these claims and calls of blackmail and a shakedown by Tony Busby.
Yeah, and he's also stepped down from ESPN for the time being until this lawsuit is complete.
He said the earliest we may hear from him is preseason of the NFL.
Yeah.
So, your thoughts on everything?
Crazy. I think when I first saw it, I'm like, wow, this is insane. But this is my personal bias.
Like Gnarls Barkley crazy or I think it was another crazy song.
Crazy in Love? No.
That was the best you go with?
Nah, that's the only song that's got crazy in it.
No, you got Crazy by Gnarls Barkley. Don't Britney Spears got a crazy song? Seal has a crazy song, but I don't know if you ever heard that one.
I don't think I've heard that.
That's
one.
fire too.
Okay, I'll have to listen to that.
You got Ozzy Osbourne.
Oh, Crazy Train?
Yeah. Coke train, crazy train, same thing.
Maybe Crazy Train.
Damn, are we really struggling? Like, that has to be more songs with crazy.
There are probably a lot more songs.
Does Crazy Little Thing Called Love count as a crazy song?
I mean,
by Queen.
I mean, it counts, but
anything with crazy in it.
But then that's on the same wavelength as Crazy in Love.
Who sings that?
I think it's Beyonce.
No, that's.
Oh, no.
Is that Crazy in Love? Or is that Dangerously in Love? No, that is Crazy in Love.
Crazy in Love, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, no, the name of the album was.
Oh, the AV. I don't know.
The name of the album was Dangerously in Love.
Okay.
That's the name of the album. Damn, there should be more crazy songs out there.
There probably are, but they're not as popular as we think. Like you said, the Seal one, I haven't heard that one, so
fire.
I'll have to listen to that.
It's fire.
But back on topic.
Yeah.
Like I said, for me, this is my personal bias speaking. That sounds kind of out of character from how I've heard Shannon speak and how people have spoke about him.
Right.
I do not think he would do that. He doesn't give off that type of energy. I don't know. People behind closed doors are different. My personal bias, that's a little stretching it for me. I think the hardest part about this is also coming off of the suit that the person at FS1 is like. This is like what, a couple months since that suit dropped for the executive and Skip.
Oh, Skip, yeah.
Where he was also brought up. I was like, dang, you can't catch a break in these past couple months when it comes to this.
And he also has a history of people like alleging stuff about him as well.
Yeah. So I feel bad for him that, but due process has to be done. I think the thing we'll get to is the whole $10 million settlement thing, which got leaked to the public basically, which made him look even worse, unfortunately. Yeah. That the phone call that got leaked as well.
Right.
So it's not looking good at the moment. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But I hope he beats it because I like Shannon. I like him. So it sucks to see this in the news about him.
Hey, man, look. At some point in life, you got to grow up.
Yeah.
And obviously, I watch Nightcap enough that, I know Shannon he's a very sexual person.
Yeah.
He talks freaky and all that kind of stuff openly and all that. So it's not for me crazy as far as him having like
a
sexual
relationship
exploits. So just because this, I'll be honest with you. So based on what I read, their sexual nature is eerily similar to Trevor Bauer and his things as far as that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Which we discussed ad nauseum. Got to be careful. You have to be.
NDAs and all that.
Yeah. Mistake number 2 is if you are gonna be, let's just say you are like that, Shannon. You want to live that life. Why somebody that? Why?
Yeah, 20 is wild.
Go find you, Shannon Sharpe. Go find 30 something.
You're 35 and up, dog.
Like, come on, bro.
35 to 45. That's your range.
Like, why are you going that?
Yeah, 20 is wild.
Come on, bro.
20 is wild.
Because that does give into the power dynamic and all that kind of stuff. Like, you're a man of influence, affluence, got money, and all that kind of stuff. So
it is harder for someone who's younger like that to say no.
Right.
Technically, yeah. And
because apparently he approached her at a gym and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's just like, dude, why put yourself in that
position,
like, it just this is what confuses me with a lot of men, right? You would think after the post Me Too era that we live in now that people will be more on the P's and Q's, even if they're doing right.
Yeah.
Just be more, just
be
optically,
up, yeah.
especially when you have a high profile.
Yeah.
Just optically, like, you know what? No.
Yeah.
You can't say
no. You can't entertain everything.
Like, bro, like, just no.
Yeah.
No.
I'm good. Yeah.
Like, bro, like you supposed to be past the age when you think what you did. You supposed to be past that age. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You should be thinking with your checkbook.
Facts.
With your pocketbook. That's what you be thinking with.
Facts.
What's gonna hurt my money? You know what I'm saying? And now, to me, by putting himself in this situation, you got to deal with what comes with it.
Yeah.
We heard the audio.
Yep.
Right now, he said audio was distorted. Apparently, he alleged that their campus thinking about leaking a sex tape with all that. Yeah. That I'm like, can they do that? That sounds like revenge porn. Like I don't know if you could just leak that.
No,
I don't think you could just do that. You know what I'm saying?
No. That one I don't think you can do.
But to me, it's like, bro, like that's just stupid.
Yeah.
And then number 2, like, bro, I'm just baffled that this just keeps happening, man. I'm just stunned that this just keeps happening year after year after year, especially with black men.
Yeah,
You would
Jonathan Majors.
Like, obviously we had, Diddy.
Yeah, Diddy. Yep.
You know,
Trey Songz is in a little bit of trouble.
Again?
No, yeah, I think again. Just recently.
What for what?
I haven't looked at it, but he's been in social media circles. People are like, yeah, Trey Songz is there might be some trouble heading his way.
Damn. I mean, because he's had some stuff.
He's had some stuff before
for the last decade. One involving Keke Palmer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you would think he'd be. You think everybody just be a little bit more like
you understand the position that you're in, right?
Mm-hmm.
You are a celebrity,
right?
You got to move differently
Mm-hmm.
once you reach a level of fame and influence. You just have to, because otherwise these situations fall in your lap and you're stuck in the public eye. People questioning your character,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately.
And the one thing I used to think about with Shannon is I think about all those times he'd be on Nightcap. And Chad would try to set him up and all that and tell him settle down and all that. And he would kind of like
keep going.
Yeah, he would play him off like, nah, man, I'm looking for a center and all that kind of stuff. And it's just it's like dog. It's like maybe you should listen.
Yeah.
It's funny. Chad plays the fool.
Yeah, but he's not dumb.
Yeah,
he's not dumb.
We know from his situation. But Chad had a past.
Yeah.
He had some stuff pop in the past and he's learned from it.
Yeah.
Shannon strikes me as a dude who. He strikes me as hard-headed. All them damn sayings, he be, all them proverbs. My grandma told me when you have a frog, sometimes you got to leap. You know what I'm saying? All that shit like that. We go to a circus, be ready to get clowned on. Like, always did shit. He always like, bro, how about you
listen to him?
Yeah.
Use him.
Right. You just quoting the shit just to quote him? Just to like, all right, that sounds good when them say on the pot. Like, take that into actual. That's my biggest pet peeve with people in life is people who give advice but don't take their own. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because it's technically you're a hypocrite. That puts you in the hypocrite category.
And that's what he is now.
Yeah,
he's a hypocrite. But I will say this though, and we saw this last year with Drake. We saw this year with Shannon Sharpe. Man, a difference a year can make. Last year you riding high off the Cat Williams interview.
Yep.
You leave Fox, but you land on ESPN. You're the hottest name in media.
Yep.
And a year later, you're sidelined by ESPN. Your podcast is no man's land, and you getting sued for $50 million. Like, man, time
can change everything.
Yeah, a year can change everything, man. But I don't know. I don't know where this case goes. I have no idea. One thing I will say that might work in his favor is if I was his lawyer, I would question, like, why were you recording these the whole time?
Yeah.
Because I would wonder, like, because my mind is there has to be more tapes.
There has to be more tapes, and it all depends, like I was telling you before, it all depends on the state that she was in when she recorded these things. Because some of those might not be admissible if it was a two-party consent state.
Well, for me, I wouldn't even care about that part.
You have to.
Let me get what I'm saying. I'm saying I would lean on to the jury or whatever, to the people in the public, that this was a shakedown and setup. What I mean by that is, how many times did you record to get this one? You know what I'm saying?
Well, again, that's where you need that information that the state that she was recording these in are not a single party consent state. If this was a dual party consent state, she's definitely setting him up.
Right.
If this is a single party consent state, then you can't really go that angle. But if this is a dual party consent state,
well, no, you still can't, because my point has nothing to do with.
Because the judge will shut that down immediately.
Well, I'm talking about to the media.
To the media.
We've
seen
Tony Busby get punked in the media.
Yeah, he got punked. He got punked this year by Jay-Z.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like I would go into the media and I would like let them know, like, this is a shakedown. How do you know? Because she had this is the only recording. Yeah. She has other recordings of them just having normal conversations. She was just at some point trying to coerce, like sort of like an officer trying to get a
confession.
Get a confession.
Yeah.
Like she was just trying to, like, okay, I'm close. You know what I mean? Let me lead him down the path. Let me lead him down. Now he still bit the apple now.
Yeah.
He still fell for it. But I would lean into that if I was him. Like, nah, bro, there are plenty of conversations. She was just trying to catch homie. There are plenty of tapes out there of recordings of her just talking about normal stuff. And I would want to hear those to see people like, you see how she's talking, see how she's trying to lead him down this path and distort things like that. That's the angle I would take.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying?
Like a leading the witness thing.
Right, especially if you feel like it is a blackmail, if it is a shakedown.
Yeah, because that's the biggest question that's been popping up in the media now is if it is if this is like a blackmail attempt because of that whole the refusing the $10 million settlement. Where it's like you could have like they could have settled easy. He offered the settlement and y'all said no, asking now for more, and then releasing that that Shannon offered the settlement. It's like, yeah, so what's going on here now? Like you could have had money easy.
And I remember I told my mom this the other day. Don't underestimate the fact that Tony Busby, the lawyer, needs a public win.
100%. 100%.
Like he just got
he got fleeced by
he just
by
got
Jay-Z.
embarrassed by Jay-Z and Co.
Yeah.
So he needs a get back now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he going.
Well, because even with the Deshaun Watson stuff, half of those got thrown out. Like only.
I mean, nah, not thrown out. Settled.
Or settled. Some of them got settled. They were like 27.
28, like 28. Most of them got settled.
Most of them got settled. Okay,
Yeah.
I thought only like a couple of them got settled.
No, like 28, 29 of them got settled.
Damn.
Yeah. Deshaun was just trying to make this. He was trying to make this good.
Got you.
Yeah, but the Browns helped with that. You know, their cash flow.
Yeah.
The Browns technically settled for 8.
Yeah.
I'm paying y'all with Brown money. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, don't underestimate the fact that he needs a public win. So he may be willing to take this to the end of the earth to show people. All right, cool. The Jay win. I would have went. I would have went with that when Shorty folded, not me, or she lied, not me.
Got you.
I'm still him out here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna show y'all. So don't
Is he also doing the Isn't he also doing the Joe Flacco one too? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Joe Flacco.
Or not Joe Flacco. Justin Tucker.
I don't know about that one.
I thought he was also working with the people who were.
You had looked at it. I don't know. I would check.
Yeah. I thought we talked about it.
Now I don't remember. I don't pay attention to cares. I ain't gonna lie to you.
We've been consistently covering all these.
No, bro. I haven't heard of people about that case since.
True, that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
so
true.
I don't know. Hopefully he stopped going to massage
parlors.
You know what I mean? You do a little massage gun, bro. you just gonna be sore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
It's a wrap, dog.
Yeah, but anyway, man, that's all the time for you guys today, man. You can follow me at Facebook at Bryce Odin. You can follow me on Instagram at Bryce David Odin. Bryce, go and tell him.
From Twitter, Bruce Leroy.
And remember, you hear from the horse's mouth. Listen, as we told you, we out. Peace.